All right, and there it is, the theme song. Hello, hello. Y'all, come on in, say hi to me, give me your comments. It is so important that you say hello to me as you come in because I want to know who's here so I can customize the content for you, and because it helps the social media platforms that I broadcast to understand that I am giving you valuable content that you love so that they will show it to more people. So when you comment, as we come in the beginning, the social media platforms say, okay, she's doing something valuable. Then they show it to more people who follow me. So please give me a like, give me a love, give me a heart, give me a fire. Say hello. Let me know what you're most excited to learn about today. I'm going to get brutally honest. I'm going to open the kimono and I'm going to tell you all about my biggest wins and my biggest mistakes of 2022 because reflection is key in learning. No one wants to make the same mistakes over and over again. History is destined to repeat itself unless we interrupt the pattern, learn from it, and move forward differently. You've heard me talk in the past about how your drain will drag, not your drain, your brain will drag your past into your future as a way of keeping you safe unless you interrupt the pattern. So the new year is a really great time to do just that. It's a great time to interrupt the pattern of your brain taking all the safe things from the past and bringing them in to construct your future day to day. So listen in today because I'm going to get really personal about my year in 2022. I'm about to pull back the kimono and expose all of my biggest mistakes, my proudest wins, and the learning that I took from each. My hope is that there are lessons here for all of us. All right, so your takeaways. Number one, you're going to learn from my mistakes so that you can avoid making the same ones in 2023. You're also going to you're going to grab the essential step by step instructions on how to create your own year in review without spending days mining through your whole planner and your email and all the stuff in order to figure it out. And then I'm going to tell you at the end about a special new program that I've created that is just right for you if you are still struggling to get your program off the ground or if you are still struggling to gain your first clients. All right. So, first, let me say this. I'm Kelly Coulter. In 2020, I became absolutely obsessed with helping fitness professionals and wellness professionals build their businesses so that they could serve their clients during the pandemic. Now, I help coaches just like you make more impact with your perfect clients without adding hours to your days by leveraging the life changing work that you are already doing. So, these episodes that I create for you every week at 3 o'clock on Tuesday are designed specifically to deliver mindset tips, business tips, and direct response marketing tips that will truly move the needle on your business. Okay, so you ready to go? Let's get started. All right. So I promised you an honest deep dive into my 2022. I want to tell you about my wins and I want to tell you about my mistakes. So I've created two major wins and two major mistakes, and we're going to go through them. I like to go through wins first. So if you've ever coached with me inside the accelerator, or even sometimes I do this inside the Serve Lead Sell Masterclass, I like to start with celebrations. So we as business owners tend to gloss over our wins and focus on our failures. I so often, you guys, let me know if you do this. You'll tell somebody how your business is going, or I'll ask you how your business is going, and you'll say, it's really going well. I had this great thing happen last week. And then right away, you'll say, but, and then you'll add in five things that you feel like you need to do or that you feel like you're failing at, or that you're shoulding yourself about. You'll give me all of those things when we're trying to talk about celebrations. It's kind of just human nature that we gloss over our wins. So I want to talk about my major wins, and I'm going to go through both of my biggest wins without saying the word but. Because when you say the word but, you negate everything you said before it. So, my first my first big win of 2022 is this. I learned how to have one-on-one sales conversations that move the relationship forward without being naggy or salesy or weird or pesty. So I've always talked about the servant leader sales method. It's important to me. It's important to all of us that we feel like we're helping and that selling is truly serving for us as fitness professionals and wellness professionals. But it wasn't until I went through this whole exercise last year of going through all of these failed one on one sales calls that I finally really did figure it out. So I actually went through this whole process where I had stopped launching. I had stopped doing the Serve Lead Sell Masterclass. I had stopped doing any kind of sales event. And I just forced myself to create all of my sales through one-on-one sales conversations. And let me tell you guys, they were weird at first. They were super weird because I was really used to just pitching the program after a big after so the way that I would do it is I would have a sales event. It would be the Serve Lead Sell Masterclass, or I would do maybe a webinar or something, and then I would pitch my program. And so everybody would sit through this long presentation where I was talking all about what you'll get from the program and who it benefits and who it's right for, who it's not right for. And I would tell them all the things, and they would sit as like this captive audience and listen. And it worked great. You guys, sales events cannot be replaced in your sales process. It worked really great because people want to know what you have to offer, especially if you've given them something of value. So it worked really well, but I knew that I was lacking the sales skill of just being able to have a conversation and communicate one on one to somebody what the benefits for them would be of joining my program. If I really believed I could help them, of course, I always say that. Don't make an offer if you don't believe you can help somebody. So I had to learn how to have one on one conversations and then figure out if I knew I could help this person and how should I talk to them about the program. And so I forced myself to just have one-on-one conversations in order to feed the business. And I went through, I am not joking, you guys, 40, 40 failed one-on-one sales calls before I had my first sale from a one-on-one relationship completely. 40 failed sales calls. And each time I had a failed sales call, I was more determined to make it work, which is, I believe, what made it work. Now, there's another thing that made it work. So I forced myself to go through it. I forced myself to take the loss every time it happened, and I forced myself to move forward. I also got coaching. I got coaching specifically on having conversations, on having sales conversations one on one. So, my coach was Ryan McKenzie. He wrote the book, I Hate Selling for the Fitness Professional. And I love his philosophy. I love the philosophy that he describes in the book. Again, that's I hate selling for the fitness professional. And his philosophy and the way that he teaches sales is very much similar to the way that I talk about sales when I talk about servant leader sales. So I loved what he was talking about. And I knew that I needed somebody to come in watch the calls that I was having and tell me what I was doing wrong. So that was a really cool experience to get to go through the I Hate Selling coaching, and his method jibes completely with my servant leader philosophy. So now Ryan is actually in my accelerator as a coach. He comes in on the first and third Tuesdays of every month, and he does office hours and sales coaching for my accelerators. That's how much I believe in what he taught me and what he's teaching my other people. And I've had accelerators go through 3 or 4 weeks with him and be able to take what he is teaching and really apply it. I had Kim a few weeks ago actually made 2 or 3 sales of a high ticket program in one day because she just implemented what he taught. So that was a really cool new skill set for me to onboard. And it was something that I knew that I needed. You know why I knew that I needed it, you guys? Because it scared the crap out of me. Having one on one sales conversations is scary. But now I'm able to do it in a way that is just so natural. And it's not even about sales, it's just about serving. So I can talk to somebody, I can decipher what their goals are, what they need, what they think they need, what is going to work for them. And then if I think I can help them, I can offer that help, and none of it ever feels weird or forced because it's not weird or forced. So that was a really, really cool learning and something that I not only was able to bring in to my business as the CEO of my business, but I was also able to onboard a new coach, and I'm able to teach sales in a different way because of it. So I'm really proud of that skill set, and I'm able to never make anyone uncomfortable on a call. I'm able to just serve. So that was the first big win from 2022. The second big win is this: I reworked my sales event and my curriculum. So I reworked a lot of the things that I'm doing inside of my business. So I turned what was I calling it before? The client creation kickstart. I called it sell out your workout for a while. Then I called it the client creation kickstart. Then I reworked it and made it into the serve lead sell masterclass. And that was such a cool experience because every time I've iterated on that big event that I do for you guys, that big sales event, every time I iterate that, I'm able to define a little bit more strategically who it is that this program is right for. And I'm able to communicate to you guys who it is that this program is right for. I also added another way that I serve you guys for free on top of the Serve Lead Sell Masterclass, which is a paid program. It's really low cost, $37. I also added these strategic planning sessions. So you saw me do one last week on the 12th, and I did one on December 8th. I'm going to be doing one every 3 months where I'm going to help you to really take a deep dive into what's coming up in the next 3 months and start to make your plans and then make them in a way that you're going to actually follow them. So we talk about daily planning, we talk about weekly planning, we talk about monthly planning, we talk about yearly planning, all within those strategic planning sessions. And those are free to my audience. So that's another way that I was able to define that I can serve my audience. Now, because I've reiterated so many times, I can say that the strategic planning sessions are right for everyone, but they're geared toward very new business owners. So everyone is going to get a lot out of it because we all need to understand how to plan. But I especially want my newest people in there because they're going to get the most out of it. Because if you can start your business with time blocks in place and knowing what you need to do from day to week to month, then you're going to be further ahead. And because at the end of the strategic planning sessions, I talk about my Crush the Rush program that I will talk about today at the end of this session. And the Crush the Rush program is right for people who are just starting their program or don't have their first clients yet. So it's for people who are struggling to get a program started. They've got one in their head and they've been talking about it for months, but they can't seem to switch the on switch, or if they're ready for a step by step on getting started, or if they need to get their first clients. That's really who Crush the Rush is for. So I talk about that at the end of the strategic planning sessions. The Serve Lead Sell Masterclass is really best for people who do have their business going. So it's a masterclass in finding audience, in understanding your niche, in understanding your program and how you help people, in having those sales conversations that I just talked about. That's what we do in the Serve Lead Sell Masterclass. And the next time I'm doing that one is February 14th. So you can look for information coming on that in the next few weeks. And then the last thing that I reworked within my business is my curriculum within the accelerator. So within my business accelerator, I reworked my whole curriculum. And then in the first quarters of this year, I'll be reteaching everything that I have planned out in the curriculum, because what I found is that people would come into the accelerator and there was like 2, almost 3 years worth of videos in there, and it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming. It got a little messy. Some of the videos were longer than they needed to be. And so I'm able to plan that out. I was able to plan out a new order and a new order for the curriculum, and then I was able to figure out which videos need to go, which ones can stay, and which ones need to be reshot, and I'll be reshooting those in the first part of this year. All right, so that was my big 2 wins. Reworking my sales events, huge, y'all. Iteration, 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 and I learned to have comfortable service-based one-on-one sales conversations. So now let's talk about mistakes. There's an overarching theme for the 2 big mistakes that I'm going to talk about, and it is this: I let failures get in the way of progress instead of letting them teach me what doesn't work. We all do this. We all do this. We take a failure hard. We go through something that doesn't work the way we wanted it to or the way it has in the past. And instead of just letting that thing teach us, going back and examining it and then letting it give us the lessons that it has to give us, we throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I did that last year at different times in 2 places in my business. So I'm going to talk about both of those. The first was that I abandoned doing sales events altogether. So I had a sales event. I did the client creation kickstart in January, and it didn't sell very much. I didn't get very many new clients from it, and so it was disappointing. Um, yeah, I think that was the big thing about that. Now, I knew that I had made some mistakes during that session of the masterclass. I knew that I traveled that week. My energy was off. There was a lot that was off about it. So I knew that I kind of could forgive it. But then I had another failed event in June where I really didn't bring enough clients in. I didn't even bring enough clients in to really compensate myself for the time spent. And I'm not even sure that I covered my ad spend. So what I did is I turned around and I threw the entire baby out with the bathwater. And I just said, I'm only going to do one-on-one sales. I'm not going to do any marketing events anymore. No sales events. I'm just going to do one-on-one. And that was a huge mistake, because sales events not only nurture your audience and nurture your relationships, but they also grow your audience. So when you're having a sales event, you've got something to talk about in your marketing for weeks before that sales event. But if you don't hold sales events, your marketing becomes such a slog because now you're just constantly looking for something to talk about in social media. And you can talk about your weekly gold nugget. You can talk about what's going on in the market. You can talk about lessons that you've learned. But it does get to be a little harder to keep your social media fresh when you don't have these events that you can kind of hang a lot of your marketing efforts on. So, abandoning the sales events was a wrong move for a lot of reasons. And you saw that with me because you saw the last one that I did was in June, and then I didn't do another one until November. That gave me time to rework everything, so I loved that. But in the meantime, that meant that I was spending a lot of my time on those one-on-one sales conversations when a lot of those people that I was having one-on-one sales conversations might have been served better by being able to participate in the Serve Lead Sell Masterclass and then come into the accelerator program from that. So abandoning the marketing events, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, bad move. Now, in the same way, I also had a bad coaching experience at the beginning of the year. So I was letting my failures get in the way of progress. I hired a coach that I believed in. I hired a coach that promised So the reason that I hired the coach really had a lot to do with the whole goal of learning those one-on-one sales conversations. What I wanted was to bring somebody into my business that would help me get appointments so that I was just able to come in and have the conversations and I wasn't having to drum up the appointments all the time. And I hired a coach that promised that they would put that person into my business. And that just didn't happen. I was with them for a while. They have a fantastic program. I know a lot of people who have gotten a lot out of the same program, but for whatever reason, I just didn't. And I can tell you that one of the reasons is that I was overcoached. I think I was in 2 or 3 other programs at the same time. So I was overcoached, which meant that I was listening in on the lessons, but not taking time to take action on the things that they were telling me to do, which is a huge mistake. It's something I'm actually going to be talking with my accelerators about today in office hours. When when you're listening in on me talking, on other coaches talking, and then you are just moving on to consuming the next piece of content, you're not doing yourself any favors. So I was doing that. I was overcoached. I wasn't taking action on the stuff. Um, and I wasn't doing the things I needed to do to get that appointment setter placed in my business. And so that didn't happen. So I left that experience with a really bad taste in my mouth, and I said, "I'm going to just take a break from being a coach." I'm not from being a coach, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take a break from having a coach. I'd had a coach at that point for 2.5 years solid. It's done wonders for my business. I recommend that every single one of you have a coach. Coaches have coaches, but I had decided to take a break because of that bad experience. So, what happens as soon as you, as a coach, as a business owner, stop getting coaching, now all of a sudden you've got your own thought loops to rely on. So, the only thing that I have to rely on in making my decisions is my caveman thoughts. And I'm really good at telling myself that caveman thoughts are not caveman thoughts. And so I was fooling myself into making bad decision after bad decision, which is why I abandoned my sales events. It was because I did not have a coach and because I did not have exposure to my own caveman thoughts, to my own thought loops. I didn't have somebody coming behind me going, no, Kelly, no, that doesn't work. Or, hey, Kelly, look at these successes that you've had and let's double down on those. So I always tell you guys, I highly recommend that you have a coach and that you continue in coaching. Every single one of us needs a coach. If you're under 100,000, you need a coach to get to 100,000. If you're past 100,000 and you're scaling to 500,000 like I am, you need somebody that has been there in the past and can help you see how to get there. If you are going for 1 million, the problems are different. So you need different coaches at each stage. All right, so that was my 2 big mistakes. I abandoned my sales events and I stopped getting coaching. I started getting coaching again in the fall. I got Ryan during the summer. He helped me with my sales, and then I re-signed with the coach that I've had for almost 3 years in the fall, and that made all the difference. All right. So, let's talk about how you create this year in review like I've done today. I want to tell you how to do it as quickly as possible. And you guys, if you have comments or questions, please put them into the chat. I'm happy to answer anything that you've got. That's true, even if you're watching in the replay. And give me a hashtag live or a hashtag replay if you're here. All right, so how to create your own year in review. I suggest highly that you start with your wins. So you are going to start by opening up your calendar, whether that's your Google Calendar, whether you walk around with an agenda book, whether you have both. You're going to just start looking through and start thinking about the things that were going on each month and maybe even each week during each month. And you're going to start looking for your celebrations and your lessons. And so start a wins list. I highly suggest that you start a wins list, that you do not do this exercise without having a list of your wins. You don't want to just be looking for mistakes. So celebrate those wins, make a list of those first. Then you can go back and look for the places where you underperformed, where you um, fell victim to your caveman thoughts, where you just didn't do what you had set out to do. And then I want you to look at each of those, all the wins, all of the mistakes, and make sure that you know what lesson you're taking from that. So, really important. Make sure that not only do you know what your wins were, do you know what your mistakes were, but that you know what lesson each of those taught you. All right, you guys. So that is my personal review of 2022. And that is how I would suggest that you move forward into creating your own personal review so that you can examine the mistakes and the wins and take the lessons from each of those. So now I want to talk to you about a special program that I've created. It is the right program for you right now if you have struggled to turn your per session or your monthly subscription into a rinse and repeat program. You've heard me talk about rinse and repeat programming. I've also called it defined end programming. I talk a lot about it in the Serve Lead Sell Masterclass. Defined end programming is the only way that fitness and wellness professionals actually make real, sustainable, sizable income. It's so much harder and so much of a longer process to do if you're selling monthly subscription at a low ticket. Crush the Rush is also the right program for you if you are just getting started because you're going to get step by step on gaining your first clients. All right. So, Crush the Rush. It's 5 weeks to perfect and pre fill your program. You're going to put everything in place now so that you can bring New Year's resolution rushers in. So, you're looking to create the program right now. It's a crash course. You're going to create it quickly. I'm going to show you how to do that. And you're going to start pre selling it because people need your help right now during January, during the New Year's resolutions rush. So you're going to put everything in place without sacrificing your entire life. It is a quick crash course. It's like 60 to 90 minutes a day. Now, here's what we will not be doing in that program. We're not going to be talking about tech. We're not doing a website. We're not going to stress about logos and design elements and branding. And we're not going to be spending the whole month just posting and posting and posting on social media. So, what you do during this crash course is you create the assets, the scripts, and the momentum that you need so that you can onboard new clients, crush the January New Year's resolution rush, and plan and pre-sell the perfect offer to your perfect clients during their most motivated time of the year, which is the new year. And this right now is prime time of the new year. We are at January 17th. Right now is when people start to realize that they can't do it on their own, that they need help. And so you need my help in learning how to find those people, have the conversations, and bring them into a program that will change their lives. So, what you can expect to get if you join Crush the Rush is you can expect to walk away with your program perfected, whether it's a refined version of your current program or a brand new program or even a special New Year, New Me transformational program. You can expect to walk away having pre-sold that perfect program right now, even if you're not going to start it for a few weeks. And you can expect to walk away with the low tech, high leverage marketing campaign that bucks the current trends and catches the attention of your perfect future buyers. So, you guys, it's 5 weeks. What you get is access to the accelerator curriculum. So, the accelerator that I teach that is 4 months, that high ticket program that you maybe have considered in the past but had trouble pulling the trigger on, you get access to that for 5 weeks. You get access to all the support within that as well, which means you get Ryan McKenzie, you get me, you get Terry, you get all the office hours, you get all of the lessons. Plus, you get 10 special specifically designed lessons that are the Crush the Rush lessons. So these 10 special lessons are specifically designed to ensure that you plan and sell that perfect offer to your perfect clients during their most motivated time of year. There's going to be one on one coaching for you in that program as well. So during that 5 weeks, you'll have 3 on one coaching sessions, an onboarding session, a check in 2 weeks in, and a check in 4 weeks in. You'll have access to support between those lessons via office hours and direct message. You get all of the lessons, all of the workbooks within Crush the Rush. You get the recordings of all the co-working sessions that we did when we did this in December. By the way, December's cohort was absolutely on fire. They made so much progress. Amazing group of people. You will love getting to know them by watching the recordings of those co-working sessions. And then you get those lessons dripped out to you during the first 10 business days that you're in here. I believe in this program so much that I'm going to make a guarantee. You are going to make your money back, or I will continue to work with you until you do. If you want to find out more information, you can go to learn.fitprosconnect.com/cross the rush. And it looks like there's a little typo in fit. Terry told me that the other day and I didn't fix it. Let me see if I can fix it right now. So fit is one I, fitprosconnect.com. So learn.fitprosconnect.com/crush the rush. Go there. You can sign up from there. Now, I want to say one more thing before I go. This is not the accelerator. So, Crush the Rush is not the accelerator and it's not the accelerator light. You do get access to everything that my accelerators get access to for that short crash course period of time. But the Crush the Rush program is a crash course designed to get you ready to onboard your perfect future clients. The intention is that you make so much progress, you get your program in place, you make your first sales, and you make so much progress that you beg to stay with me for the accelerator. Because the accelerator is where I can teach you to leverage everything that you've learned by having the conversations and making the sales and designing the program. That's where I can teach you to leverage it so that you can move faster. That's where I can have one on one coaching calls with you every 3 weeks. And that's where you continue to get access to all of that group support, including the coaching from Ryan McKenzie and the office hours with me. So, Crush the Rush will get you launched. It's going to get your program in place, get you your first clients, but it's not going to get you to that leverage and scale phase that we talk about when we talk about the business building pyramid. You're going to get a cash injection and a revenue spike, and you're going to set yourself up for the best year ever by gaining momentum now. You guys, your customers are looking for help right now. They are going to buy from someone. Let that someone be you. Take maximum advantage of the January New Year's resolution rush. I'm so confident that I can help you maximize on the New Year, New Me rush that I'm willing to make you this special offer in order to help you make this happen. 10 special lessons, plus support, plus a fast track session, plus the client retention session. You show up, you do the work in a timely manner. If you don't make your investment back, I will keep you in the accelerator and keep working with you until you do. Okay. So, you guys, I would love to see you there. Go to learn.fitprosconnect.com/crush the rush and check it out if it's for you. I would love to have you in that program. If you've got questions, message me, message Terry. I'd love to answer them for you. If you need to have a call with me before you can make your decision, happy to have a call with you. This is my priority this week. I really hope all of this information has served you today. I hope that you can learn from my mistakes and my wins in 2022. And if it did serve you, will you do me a favor? Please leave a comment letting me know about the information I shared, asking any questions that you have. I will see your comments and I will respond. Your questions and reactions help me to know what content helps you grow the most. And if you're seeing this episode on YouTube, please make sure that you share it with a friend and subscribe to this channel. If you're seeing this, if you're hearing this as the podcast or watching it on Facebook, please give me a like and make sure that you're in my Grow Your Business for Fitness Instructors, Trainers, and Coaches group on Facebook. That's where I have 8,500 other professionals all working together to grow their businesses. All right, y'all, that is what I have got for you today. I love you so much. I will be back next week where we will talk about a little bit of the content from the Path to Profits training that I did last week. And um, we'll be doing that as a two-parter. So I will see you there.